the Special Olympic World Games Abu Dhabi 2019, Dr. Youssef Hammadi, and from SAS, Mr. Amir Sorabi.
Did you know the largest sports and humanitarian event in 2019 was the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi, where over 7,000 athletes from 200 countries came to Abu Dhabi for this very special event? Dr. Youssef, can you tell us the significance of this event?
First of all, let's start with what is Special Olympics. Special Olympics is a kind of different than Paralympics. Many of us have heard about Paralympics. Paralympics deals with people of determination, as we call them, or disabled people, on physical abilities. But Special Olympics deals with people with intellectual disability. So we know that sports and events can play a significant role in inclusion message that we send for people of determination in this world. That is a core belief we have in UAE. This is the same value we have, the same inclusion message that we want to spread across the globe, across the regions and countries, that we come all together to represent one message, one goal, one objective. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed, the Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi, inspired us and asked us to do the most what we can for this very special segment of population. So working on that, the events of Special Olympics work hard to be hosted in Abu Dhabi in 2019, March 2019 this year, was the biggest and largest humanitarian sport event ever in this year, where 200 countries, with 7,000 athletes from those 200 countries, break records of the countries that participating in this team. The most female athletes participated in the history of Special Olympics was in Abu Dhabi 2019. We had for the first time ever 20,000 volunteers in a country where 55% of those volunteers were female. And as I said, 32 countries that never participated in this event. And UAE worked very hard with Special Olympics International, not just to bring the athletes to the game, but also to make sure of the sustainability and legacy of this game, where those countries will have a continuous program in Africa and Latin America, and the islands, Fiji and others, to make sure those countries will keep the momentum, will keep programs including those athletes in their daily activities and have a more broad outreach for them.
Dr. Goodnight, this was the first time in the history of the Special Olympics that analytics was leveraged as a key pillar to drive strategic and operational insight. Can you give us a little bit of insight into how this impacted the experience of athletes, fans, and the overall organization as a whole?
From day one, our top management, with our chairman, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Janabi, our MD, Khalfan Masrouri, thinking that analytics and data can be a key differentiator for the Special Olympics World Games 2019 in Abu Dhabi. So we took that message very seriously. We worked with many partners and spreading the word of inclusion, partners and vendors to think about how we can use analytics in this. The data comes from all aspects, from many data sets, from legacy system all the way to data that's streaming on milliseconds type of data. It comes from Oracle databases, from Microsoft.NET databases, as well as SQL databases and others. And pictures and text and numeric data. So all these data, those variety was taken in consideration and thought of. I think we had more than 25 data sets. We brought all this data on a cloud computing platform. We use top analytical platform to analyze the data, create dashboards daily for our leadership, for our management, for our athletes, for our fans, to make sure that we provided the most possible services for them. So dealing with analytics, we have three main goals. One of them is making sure our athletes, because of their ability or disability, we want to make sure their health and safety, they are at the right time with the right people at the right place. Second of all our people that comes to the game, all looking at it, watching it from abroad, have the most memorable and enjoyable event. And the third of all, we as an organizing committee, we have the data at hand to make sure making sure of the right decision at the right time as well.
Dr. Youssef, let's talk about the athletes a little bit. They were the most important part of the event. And let's talk about a couple of use cases that really made sure that this event was fit for purpose for them and they got the best experience out of it. Can you walk us through a couple of those use cases?
For our athletes, we leverage many data analytical tools as well as technologies. One of the most notable ones, we use the smartwatch or IoT Internet of Things devices, where every athlete received their smartwatch, and they kept them as a gift from Abu Dhabi for them to be used while they're home if they wish to. So these smartwatches were transferring for us data on their location, as well as some vital health symptoms like the heartbeats, steps taken, as well as a condition around them. So these data were analyzed, and we understood where are these athletes, how safe they are. So in case of any incidents, we were able to respond to that if it happens. And most importantly, we were able to predict events that might have been happened, have not had. We have data on those analysis. So we were ready as a medical teams, as transportation teams, as well as our organizing committee teams ready for any instance.
Absolutely. And when you think of it, safety was paramount and foremost when hosting these special 7,000 athletes that were in Abu Dhabi. Outside of the safety side, we also looked at how the athletes were interacting with each other and what was the key messages that they were giving out from their experience at the Special Olympics. Can you take us through that a little bit?
This is a text data, typical text data was available, it wasn't looked at before, so we looked at it and we understood, analyzing the motivation of those athletes, why these athletes participated in Special Olympics, why they came all over from the 200 countries to Abu Dhabi to participate in this. And ironically, this is the findings was very insightful for us. We found out the first reason, the most important reason, those athletes are in Abu Dhabi and in UAE for them to participate in this event, to make new friends, to see new cultures, to understand people's differences. So it did match a lot with our inspiration, where we're making the world more an inclusive places. So these data were very important for us.
Let's talk about the fans. How was the fan experience impacted by leveraging analytics?
We targeted 500,000 fans physically as well as worldwide. So we had a system for us to tell us, using the data analytics, to understand how many seats we have, how many tickets were bought, and which seats might be empty at a certain time. So we use analytics, we use artificial intelligence, we use machine learning to understand the pattern, to predict those events of happening. So we make sure that athletes, we provide personalized data support for our people and fans to make sure they're enjoying the game as much as the games as much as possible. So we were able to tell them which events are most popular, which event that might be of interest for them, what is the best time, and how long it's going to take them to get to a certain game or non-game event. So we're trying for them to maximize the time for them being at the Special Olympics. One of the things that provided very, very important things, we had about 68 billion impressions on social media for the game. And the most important thing, feedback, social media analysis, the sentiment analysis we've done showed us the same story that the athletes were telling us. People came for the Special Olympics World Games Abu Dhabi 2019 to spread and live the message, the experience of inclusion, and making sure we are all together for one purpose, one world.
That is amazing. So basically in two streams, one from a very operational perspective, where fans were able to gain insight as to which venues they wanted to go to ahead of time, and that streamlined from an organizational perspective, the experience that they had. And then furthermore, seeing what they really liked and sharing that openly across all social media channels, which is really impressive. Finally, from an organizational perspective, how did you leverage this to drive your strategy and execution?
Again, managing 7,000 athletes, 200 countries, 21,000 volunteers, about 2,000 honor guests coming from across the globe. We want to make sure we're there even before we were needed. So we had data on transportation, we have data on flight status, we have data on our hotel occupancy, we have data on our buses, we have data on consumption of food and meals. So all these data were got together, analyzed, and we were understanding what are the needs for Special Olympics or local organizing committee, where we need to be, what are the food that we need to provide it, what are the services we need to do. One thing that we've done from athletes' point of view, we had medical incidence system that mapped to the health issue that the athlete has, plus the location, and we were able to be there when anything happens. And by the way, lives were saved using analytics data, IoT, during the Special Olympics. We had a very interesting program which was called Healthy Athletes Program, where every athlete came to the game, went into 7 checkpoints of health. So they do ear, sight, and other, and even emotional. And there were like 7,500 shoes, customized and designed shoes divided to, or distributed to the athletes. More than 800 glasses were given, more than 500 hearing aids were given for athletes, as well as some big operations were done for the athlete to make sure their life is kept safe.
Dr. Youssef, the Special Olympics had many different choices to select your analytics partner for this event. We know you had a very tough selection criteria. At the end, the organization decided to go with SAS. Can you tell us why you decided on SAS?
When we were looking for vendors and partners, as we call them, to work with, we had this core belief that these vendors need to believe in what we believe in as a Special Olympics World Games 2019 in Abu Dhabi. And one of them is the use of the inclusion as a message, the legacy behind those type of activities, as well as the use of data for good, how we can use analytics and data to the best of the humanities, how we can support people using analytics. And this is very important, where people with intellectual disability, they miss some of the capabilities. So we can, with the use of analytics, augment those needs or skills. So we wanted somebody who believes in the message, and SAS was one of the best analytical. It is one of the best analytical platforms out there, and they believe in our message. Second of all, the leadership of SAS showed very commitment and support for this game, and from day one, they agreed on to work together and collect a good team to work with us. The team also was phenomenal. We're working days and nights across 7 offices, I think, and across time difference. So we worked very hard on very tight timeline to deliver a spectacular and data analytical use case.
Well, as the #1 player in the space of advanced analytics and AI, and having the #1 platform in that space, we were honored to work very closely with you. And here I have to take a moment to thank our executive management and the team of volunteers that spread across 5 continents that rallied together to make this a reality. I have to tell you our little story from our region, South EMEA, which I'm very proud of to be a part of. When we floated this up to our executive team, time was of the essence. I think it was December 15th when you were going through your selection criteria, and the project had to be live by March 15th.
Oh, no Christmas break.
No room for mistakes, no room for slip-ups, because the athletes were going to show up. We were going to have 7,000 guests, 20,000 volunteers, tens of thousands of fans that were showing up to the event. So it was about how we couple our technology and our great people at SAS on a common mission to execute flawlessly and on time. And here we reached out to the SAS community in our global organization, and we had amazing volunteers that stepped up and put their own time into the program, into the project, and lived it from day 1 to the closing ceremonies of the session. And that, I think, is what truly makes us unique as an organization. Partnering in this digital transformation journey where you need partnerships that are like-minded and also like-hearted as well. A big thank you to our team. Dr. Youssef, what do you think about the Data for Good for initiative? How do you think that is relevant in today's fast-changing world?
As I mentioned in the beginning, it is very important for us as technologists, as data analysis leaders here and globally, to make sure we spread the word that, the data, the analytics, the AI, the machine learning, the virtual reality, all those technologies that can, cloud computing, can be used for the best of the people interest. We hear a lot of things on negative use of analytics and data, but I think this Special Olympics magnified the importance and the vital role that data can play in people's lives, and putting people's interests first and making sure we're living in a more inclusive, a more diverse, a more acceptance world, and we can all together, we can all live together and progress together and make better choices.
Thank you, Dr. Youssef. Throughout the day so far, we've heard some amazing stories about how transformation is the key topic as our societies and communities and economies are digitized. We're swapping carbons and atoms for bits and bytes to innovate and to grow the next generation economy. And that becomes critical. And transformation is something that we all have to go through as individuals and organizations. The Special Olympics embodies hope, inspiration, courage, and determination. These are the ethos that every single individual and organization needs to instill in themselves in order to embark on this journey. As your organizations embark on this journey, I ask you to look for partners, because a journey with a partner is much more satisfying than a lone journey on a road. This is a very disruptive journey with a lot of great things ahead, and we believe that SAS is your partner in this journey. At this point, I would like to thank Dr. Youssef and the Special Olympics Committee for selecting SAS and Team SAS to be a part of this journey with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. At this occasion, I would like to welcome Dr. Goodnight, and we want to give him a recognition and thankful message from our chairman, His Excellency Mohammed Al-Junaidi, for the SAS involvement and support of the game. And thank you very much, SAS and the SAS team.
Well, it certainly was our honor to be chosen as your analytics provider, and I think our team had a wonderful experience in working with you.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.